This is NR2003 Predicts. We take the entry list of NASCAR's top 3 series, send them through the ratings algorithm, and see who comes out on top. Here's a few tidbits to know heading in. The driver ratings are updated race by race to reflect the performance of that driver throughout the season, as well as at that specific track in recent years. The races are at 100% length and use normal tire and fuel wear. The starting lineup will match the real-life qualifying using the provisional starting order, not the one that includes drivers heading to the back. The weather will match the real-life start time data, and commentary will match the real-life scenarios, not the standings that will be posted at the end of the video. And as always, this series is for entertainment purposes only. Using artificial intelligence and using the results of this race for gambling purposes is discouraged. Looking at the Xfinity race, it looks like it was going to be Harrison Burton for a while, going back-to-back in the first few races of his career, but Michael Annett is going to be able to slip right by him and grab the victory. Good run by him. Kyle Busch, one of those drivers you thought was going to win the race, ends up in 10th position. Also, a few notable drivers not having good days. Chase Briscoe, Myatt Snyder, and Brandon Jones all experiencing problems on the racetrack. Now we go to the main event. Chase Elliott and Kevin Harvick on the front row. Green flag flies. Elliott going to be immediately swallowed up by the pack as Kevin Harvick was outside Hamlin and Blaney to his inside. He is not going to be able to hold down that first position for very long as he starts to slip back in the field. He'll add his name to the drivers that have won poles here. Kyle Busch, Jimmy Johnson topping that list. Busch didn't start too far up, but you can see him on that outside line trying to make it work. Going to have to try to find his way to the inside where there might be a little bit more grip there. Meanwhile, when it comes to pretty much every other statistical category, you're probably going to find Kevin Harvick at the top. 9.2 average finish for him puts him ahead of Jimmy Johnson and Busch. And then when you look at the wins, that is really what takes the cake, as he has more than double the next active driver being Johnson. Kyle Busch, Denny Hamlin, also multi-time winners here among active drivers. That 4-car puts himself to the lead early on in this race. He is looking to go for his 10th victory here. Johnson, another one of those solid drivers, making his second to last start here. Obviously, championship weekend will be his last. That will be his finale in the Cup Series as a full-time driver. Second among the active drivers on the top 5 list. Kyle Busch doing pretty well on top 10s, and he is trying to work his way up the field, currently in 3rd position, just ahead of Matt DiBenedetto and Denny Hamlin, tying Johnson at 21 top 10s across his career here at this track. Going back to Hamlin here, as he's currently in the 5th position, trying to make up some ground. Leads a couple of laps here. Kyle Busch and Kevin Harvick able to eclipse 1,000 laps led at this racetrack, and currently the 4-car is just extending that mark as he takes the lead early on, and Ryan Blaney is in the 2nd position. He is currently the points leader, shown a few good performances. Obviously, Auto Club didn't go the way that he wanted to, but he is definitely going to be staying at Team Penske for the next few years. Multi-year extension, not clarified how many years. We're going to have some problems here with another Penske driver. Brad Keselowski gets into Reed Sorensen in turn 1, and right into the back of the 77 goes Ryan Preece. Did not slow down in time for that car coming down the racetrack, and that is going to put both of those drivers out early in this one. Kevin Harvick going to take the restart in the lead as everyone makes a round of pit stops about halfway through the first stage, but going to have some more problems as there's some contacts. 5 wide situation there. Martin Truex Jr. going to go into the inside wall along with Timmy Hill, and there's going to be a stack-up going down into turn number 3. Here's a look at those other cars involved. John Hunter Nemechek, Bubba Wallace getting some air. So will Joey Logano as William Byron plows into him. Ross Chastain also a little bit damaged in that one. Probably a couple other cars getting a little bit of contact there going down the backstretch. Go back to the restart, and Harvick once again out in front. Hamlin in 2nd place. Matt DiBenedetto just behind. Harvick will be able to get out in front. There's going to be a little bit of a long incident right here as Kyle Busch and Brendan Poole make contact, but it's going to extend into turn 3. Poole makes contact with Chris Buescher, goes into the outside wall. Kyle Busch collected and has some heavy front end damage, and that is ultimately going to take the 18 car out of this race before the first stage even ends. A lot of points lost in this situation as Kyle Busch is still trying to make his way up the grid. Going to be a little bit of a pit strategy that kind of creates a weird front end of the restart. A few of those cars are going to fade back as Kevin Harvick starts to fight his way back toward Matt DiBenedetto, who led that restart. But getting to the lead, Kevin Harvick blows up, and he is going to head down the pit lane. The 4-car going to be taken out by a mechanical issue. No caution flown, but the 4-car not going to be able to gain significant points in this race. They'll come around, and Denny Hamlin will be the one that takes the stage. Matt DiBenedetto comes in at second place, points leader Ryan Blaney third. Keselowski and Stenhouse Jr. rounding out the top 5. Big incident there for the 4-car, one of the favorites to win this race. However, for Hamlin, the stage winner, he's going to have some problems on pit lane. He's going to have to start from the tail end of the lead lap. Ryan Blaney will be the one that gets out in front, and he will lead this first restart of the stage. Going to be some problems here on the backstretch as Eric Jones gets into Joey Gase. 53 goes around, and Bubba Wallace, a little bit of an innocent bystander there. Only those 2 cars involved, but they will throw a caution. We'll get another restart as the Penske-affiliated teams are doing pretty well here, with the exception of Joey Logano, who was involved in that incident earlier on. Blaney going to try to get down in front of Buescher, see if he can hold it down. A little bit of contact here creates a tense situation. Cole Custer, John Hunter Nemechek, J.J. Yaley all getting together, and that's going to create a chain reaction. Martin Truex Jr., Ty Dillon getting involved here. Heavy damage to that 19. Also involved were Bubba Wallace and Denny Hamlin. Obviously, getting to the back of the pack is going to really affect that 11 car. Having some problems on pit lane. Keselowski will now take the restart as he stays out, and a few other teams come in for pit service. But we're going to have even more problems this stage as Eric Almirola gets into Quinn Houff. A lot of rebounding, and the 00 will get into the 13 and cause some heavy damage to him. A lot of problems in this race. We got to take a look at the record books and see how many cautions the record is. Matt DiBenedetto will get out in front once again as the other cars that hadn't pitted that last time will come down. Should be noted that Ryan Blaney had a little bit of an incident on pit lane. A little bit of contact made, and that has caused him to go way back in the field. In fact, I believe he is 1 lap down at this point, so he is really fighting for his track position to try to make sure that he can stay up in points. Meanwhile, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. showing some speed as he is able to fight his way to the front, get by Matt DiBenedetto, and stay out there. As you can see, he gets way out in front of the now second place Kyle Larson, who is able to get by the 21 as well. And now play nicely into the 47's hands as he'll take the stage win. Larson in second, Clint Bowyer up third. Matt DiBenedetto will slip back to 4th place, and Jimmy Johnson rounds out the top 5. So the 47 will take the lead and will restart at the head of the field, heading into our final stage. But right off the bat, he's going to experience some problems. He's going to want to come down the pit lane, but he's unable to do it. Contact with the 32 and then hit by the 52. He'll create a major stack up coming out of turn 2. You can see the 13 car going over. A lot of cars damaged in this one. Clint Bowyer riding on board him as he tries to slow down. No one else behind him is going to get the message, and a big hit from the 34 car. A lot of people taken out in this one. Some are going to try to stay on the racetrack, but meanwhile, it's the 42 that's able to get by and take the lead over. 21 also getting by 48. They will lead this field to the green. But then more problems in turn 2 as Alex Bowman and Ty Dillon get tangled. They will go around and bring out another caution. Once again, they got to be trending towards some type of record in the caution department as they're getting heated out here in the desert. 42 will once again restart in the lead, 21 following behind, 48 trying to make a move to the inside, try to see if he can gain some positions. However, it's not going to take long until we have another problem. Chris Buescher and J.J. Yaley get together, a hard hit for the 52, and once again it's Bowman and Dillon getting into each other as they come off turn 2. Might have been reactionary to that first accident, but they are still going around here. Meanwhile, Matt DiBenedetto able to creep up to the 42 car and look for the lead as he starts to go to the underside of him. And the 21 looking pretty stellar in this later part of the race. Jimmy Johnson also looking pretty stout as he tries to make a move to the inside of Brad Keselowski for 4th place. Probably the best active driver out here all time at this track with Harvick out at the moment. We're going to have some more problems. This time heading into turn 1, Clint Bowyer comes up just a little bit too early on Timmy Hill. He's going to kind of turn himself into the wall going into the corner, and they'll have to restart again. Everyone bunches back up to the 21 car. Everyone making a pit stop to try to get fresh rubber. We'll see if anyone's able to get by DiBenedetto. However, another caution. This time it's Christopher Bell having a pretty poor start to the season. He'll get turned into the wall coming through the middle of turns 1 and 2. And they'll have to send him off once again. 21 car still out front. You see Austin Dillon there trying to sneak into the picture in the top 5. Buescher's been in a couple of accidents today, and he's gone a lap down at least one time today, but he is back on the lead lap and trying to challenge Jimmy Johnson for 5th place. Kurt Busch also in the picture. They're in 7th position. Matt DiBenedetto has pullen out to a huge lead late in this race, and he is not looking back. Austin Dillon trying to see if he can reel him back in, but mainly he needs to get up to 2nd place first. Kyle Larson, who's also starting to fall back a little bit off that 21 car, who's handling really well right now. We're going to see our final round of pit stops. At least we're expecting them to be the final round as long as we don't get another caution. First few takers here. When it all cycles around, it's going to be the 21 car still out in front and has over 10 seconds of a lead on the rest of the field. You can see a lot of cars have gone a lap down. Just a matter of so many cars being damaged, trying to just finish out this race, but they're still battling for position. At least back here in the top 4, Keselowski getting a little close to Larson, trying to see if he can reel him in for a runner-up spot. But in terms of going for the victory, it looks like it might be Matt DiBenedetto's day. He's had a pretty good start to the season, has yet to finish outside of the top 20 in his 3 starts with Wood Brothers Racing, which might be one of his best opportunities he's had to date in the Cup Series. Had LeMond Family Racing, Joe Gibbs Racing support, but obviously not a factory car. This time around, this is a pretty speedy car, and you got to remember, running runner-up to Denny Hamlin at Bristol really sparked a fire in him to go after a victory. He's going to get it here today at Phoenix Raceway. 21 car going to victory lane. That's going to be that team's 100th time in victory circle. And for driver 21, it is going to be his first career Cup Series win. Kyle Larson will stay in the 2nd position with Brad Keselowski. Austin Dillon staying on the lead lap. Eric Jones maintains a 5th place. We'll see a couple other Hendrick cars down there at the end of the top 10. Just trying to sneak their way in as they've been having a pretty solid start to the season as well. Joey Logano in the 11th position, Bubba Wallace in 12th. Those guys 3 laps down as a lot of drivers going multiple laps down, including Alex Bowman, Cole Custer, Clint Boyer, all having some issues throughout the day, trying to stay in contention. Chris Buescher, he was on the lead lap at one point. Looks like he had problems late in the race as he drops all the way back into the top 15, 4 laps down. Troubles also here for Christopher Bell, Tyler Reddick. Denny Hamlin attempted to get that car back on track. Unfortunately, never was able to prevail. We also saw multiple drivers drop out, several notable drivers at that. Martin Truex Jr., Kevin Harvick, William Byron, Kyle Busch, Ross Chastain, all guys looking for better finishes today. That is it for this edition of NR2003 Predicts. We hope you enjoyed today's race, and we will see you all next time.